Okay, we did it. We made it back home. I'm jet lagged. I'm tired, but we made something pretty cool on the plane. At least I think it was pretty cool. It sounded cool on. I was mixing on my Bose headphones, the sound canceling ones. We'll see how it sounds on these headphones. I tried to take the groove from that one synth groove from Radiohead. I think it's from the song "Everything Is All Right" and recreate it. I first tried to recreate it by memory, and I came up with this. If you know the original sample, which I have not played yet, but I'm going to play for you, you can hear what I'm going for, but it's very wrong. So on the plane, through the plane's terrible Wi-Fi, I just pulled up sheet music. And this was my best attempt at recreating that synth. Okay, and through these, that still sounds pretty good. And I'll say that was entirely just, I wrote in the notes, and then I did my best to build a vital patch that I think got close. The song played in one of the movies I watched on the plane. So it was in my head when I stopped watching the movie, decided to work on music. And I could have pulled up the movie and tried to verify it, but the little media players on it would have been so annoying. And I was like, no, let's just see how close I can get to making this sound completely from ear, just from memory. Now I'm gonna play the actual song here. Let's see how close we got. Again, this is what I have. Okay, first off, the notation was wrong, actually. The second loop, they had it going up to E. That note up there was on the notation I read online, and I'm like, I don't think that's right. So I'm glad to know my ear was correct, that note doesn't exist, but I kind of like it in mine. But this is so much rounder than what I've got going. I do like my sound though. Tomorrow I'll sit down and actually try and just see if I can build just that sound exactly the same. But for now, I'm gonna leave my sound as is, and I'm gonna show you the rest of what I make. So the rest of what I made, I think this is pretty cool. That's all we've got so far. But I thought, honestly, for taking a piece that is in 4/4 plus 6/4, it's in in groupings of 10, is what the original sample's in, and being able to kind of make it work in a house groove felt pretty cool. And I do think this transition, I was pretty proud of this transition to actually get the tone shift here. It feels like it's a good handoff. It's and usually I feel like when trying to switch between energies, to me, a lot of times the pieces I write, they feel like I just slam two different pieces together that don't go together. Where this feels like two different things, but that do work together. So some fun things that are going on here. This sound is very pretty, right? If we turn off all the things that are affecting it, It's just this. It's literally just a sine wave with an envelope here, but then I put delay on it with kind of a big sound. And completely wet. This is just the D blue patch. I don't, delay is still something that there's a lot of things here I don't really know how it does what it does. There's a lot, it's not like this distortion is definitely making a big difference here, but like what's giving it that edge, I don't, like, I think it's just the distortion is high. I think it's just that there's a lot of distortion running through this right now. And then there's Valhalla on top of it to really push it out. And then there's just two notes here. It's interesting that those are in a fifth. Like by themselves dry, they sound like, but really what you hear coming out of it with the distortion is the octave, kind of like the undertone, really was what pops to the surface. So it's a good pad. I like. And then our drums first come in with this, just a filter sweep down, and a like we were filter sweeping down, and then the gain turning up a little bit to have it fade in. That's the first thing we're doing there, and these are all a default house groove that comes with Logic, and the fourth variation doesn't have the kick drum. The third variation does have the kick drum, and the first variation has the kick drum plus all this, plus this little like tom. So like you hear, so that the first variation is this little hi-hat I added. Has like a little bit of a drop in there to kind of like that feels a little off groove by itself, but in the connection with in the context of everything else sounds good. It kind of like draws attention to the asymmetrical odd number of beats we're dealing with there. And then everything else we got going on here is like some kind of normal stuff. This is that hi-hat from over here, just kind of like broken down into 4 beats, like, or 5 beats, with a heavy reverb on top of it. I think it's actually running through the same, it's running through the same Valhalla that this is. And then there's some other stuff that's like normal. The real magic is obviously this transition here, where there's 2 things happening. One that you're hearing right now, this instrument, this sine wave that we were showing up here, the pad, it's being sent directly to this Valhalla bus here, that I just titled Valhalla, that I also have a shaper box on, and the shaper box is turned off until the drop. And the shaper box is pretty much just adding this tremolo envelope, which I could have just done this with a tremolo, but there's just so much more flexibility here, so. You can see it's off right now. And it takes that huge pad and turns it into a rhythmic thing that fits in with the house music. And then we do a similar thing with the main kind of idea here. Have it get very processed. And for this, we're actually not using shaper box at all. Well, it sounds like there's maybe a shaper box. It's not. It's actually it's a similar patch. The main thing is that we just have this. Just taking the little position of this notch filter and just moving it around. This is, I have a random one moving how much it's like how intense that peak is there. But this the position, the overall position of this notch is actually being controlled by 2 things here. One is this that kind of moves it forward, so then the sound goes wah wah wah. But then also I have it going, moving just like from a ooh to an ah sound, like in kind of a step filter with this LFO. So you see how it's moving forward and back, but it's also like it's moving from like one position to another position, but then at each position it's also moving forward. So it's going like forward, then forward, forward, forward kind of thing. That's creating that little kind of movement, and it pulls it to the back, and it matches up really well with the pads here. Those go really well together, but then I wanted there to be something that kind of like helped that idea come to the front a little bit more, especially those little melodic bits, those little bits. So I built this this vital shape, which by itself, if I turn off everything, just sounds like this. So very, very simple shape there. Just got kind of a comb filter. I don't think anything's being modulated here at all with any sort of LFOs. But then Shaper Box is doing a lot of shaping to through it's got a filter movement in kind of a similar shape. It's got a distortion movement. It's adding a little bit of width. It's doing the same thing with the volume. So these two. This is kind of fun. And then with this EQ, we just kind of like pull it down to this one specific notch of range we want here. So it's just kind of like some little color on top of that sample there, on top of like the main melodic idea. The really fun thing this Nachi LFO does though when it moves this is it kind of pulls it down low and almost it makes it function like a bass for a little bit. Every time it pops on, it sounds like a sub bass. It goes like really low. And so I just, when I was like adding bass, I just had the bass do the opposite. So when the step filter LFO we built in Vital is pulling the Radiohead sound down and making it into a bass, the bass isn't playing. And then when it's playing normal kind of synthy harmonic stuff on top, the bass is filling in those gaps. And the two really work together well. And there's no sidechain compression going on here. There's just it's just the sample just really is like getting out of the kick drum's way. I probably should put a little bit of sidechain compression on there, but still in general, I'm really happy with how well all that is just separated. So built some little white noise filter sounds over here. They're not great. I tried working in Vital instead of in Alchemy. I think Alchemy is just, I don't know, the way Alchemy does it's so easy and it just sounds better. Their white noise sounds better, their filters sound better, but I did like all these combined. Oh, these claps are really fun too because they're panned. So, yeah, they're just made for a good little. This is funky. Fun. We're also using Shaper Box to do pan flow here. Our little hi-hat. Really fun to just watch it over there. It's pretty cool. Yeah, that's what we built on the plane today. That's what we did. Just having some fun, working on a new idea. Last time I worked on a plane, I built a Small Bread, and I liked that track a lot. And I think this track I could probably expand out and make pretty good, pretty easily. So I might finish this track just to have it be done and have it be music we can use on the channel. But yeah, that's all I did for the day. Thanks so much for watching. I'm gonna go to some sleep now. Goodbye.